Hello everybody, this is Hammer Strecker here. I've got a rather unique karambit on the table. It's the CRKT Provoke. And as you look at it, it doesn't look like a classic karambit. It actually kind of looks like a bird's beak. But it is a karambit, and it's actually quite a nice knife. It's got an MSRP of around $199. The body is 6061 T6 aluminum, and the blade is D6 tool steel. So it's not as fancy as some of the steels that are often used in knives and necessarily not as exotic. But tool steel is a durable steel. It's fairly resistant to corrosion. Overall, it's a pretty solid steel. And overall, so far as I've had this knife, I like it. It's a little heavy as some of these knives go. It's 6.1 ounces. Turn it around so you can see the labeling on it. And it's got some unique features. Obviously, the shape and design of it to start with is unique. The clip works like this. You pinch it, and that brings the clip up, and that allows it to slide into a pants pocket. And it's designed for very deep conceal because it actually will come down to right about there. When you stick it into something, of course, the clip will be on the outside. But the way this clip is designed, almost the entire knife will be concealed, other than obviously the metal clip. But at that point you might have a pen or who knows what you might have in your pocket, but you don't have, like many karambits, you don't have a ring sticking up that is very readily identifiable by somebody that knows what they're looking for. So it's kind of a unique feature. Personally, I would almost kind of like if this were black, because it would hide even easier. The shinier stainless does show up a little bit easier. Deploying this is a little different than many, actually quite a bit different. You push it forward, and it locks out. And to release it, there's a little arm here you push back and then bring the knife back. Deploying it is very, very smooth and very easy to do. Bringing it back is definitely a two-handed operation. So no matter what you're doing, you're pretty much got one hand is going to release the lock and the other hand is going to bring the blade back. But most of the time, you're not in a hurry to put it away, you're more in a hurry to get it out. And there's a number of different ways to deploy it, but fundamentally you're pushing forward. Now, most karambits are designed to be used basically with a grip like this, where it's upside down and then the blade is out like this and you're holding it in that manner. And this knife definitely can be used that way. The only thing you'll have to find is that when you're deploying it, I'll do it with my other hand, when you're deploying it, you have to loosen your grip. I've got it upside down, and I've got a forward grip in this case. So yes, you can use it a forward grip. In this case, I used my pinky finger. Do it again. I can also do it with the next finger in a forward grip, and there's two little grooves that my fingers will fit into. This is a little more cumbersome. I don't have quite the control over it. And then, of course, I can use it in the upside down grip and deploy it like that. So you have a lot of flexibility in how you deploy this. But it's different. It's not the way you're used to deploying a karambit. So you're going to have to practice a little bit getting that thumb motion down. And in some cases, to actually deploy it, you have to kind of loosen your grip to give clearance for your thumb to work. Because if you have it tight up against your hand, especially me where I've got real thick thumb pad here, I can't bring my thumb easily far enough to deploy it. And if you don't get that click, it's not locked. So you'll get in the habit, depending on, again, the architecture of your hands, of loosening your grip a little bit so that you can flick it and then re-gripping it. It's definitely designed to be used as a fighting knife, but it's also designed to be used as a utility knife. It's got a fairly thick blade at 0.2 inches, so it's really thick and robust if you look here at the top, and then it tapers down. So far this has held its edge well as I've been using it for various things. I tend to use these knives as utility knives, opening boxes, packages from Amazon, and things like that. Happily, I don't actually get to practice fighting with them very often, so I haven't actually used this in a battle, and hopefully that, along with any of my other knives, I don't really get that opportunity. I'd kind of like to stay that way. But it's there, and I believe it would have served very well in that function if you needed it. It's a little bit bigger. It's 7.25 inches when it's open, so I open it. 7.25 inches when it's open. And when it's closed, it's 4.96 inches. And top to bottom, it's kind of a thick knife. There's a lot of knife here. When you have it in your pocket, you can set it up where as you pull it, your pocket or clothing can catch on this and open it, and that's by design. Or you can have it moved positioned so that that doesn't happen, up to you. The key to it is if you do have it set where it catches on your clothing and opens as you draw it, make sure you know that by the time you're probably 2/3 of the way out of your pocket, you've got a live blade. So plan your draw accordingly, and plan as you swing it out and bring it into position that you know that you've got an active blade. But that's true of any of the karambits that have the auto opening feature. And I've got a couple others that do that in one form or another. Usually it's a little hook on the blade. And it's a matter of practicing and understanding that by the time it comes out into the air, it's ready to go. But of course, if you're using it in a fighting capacity, that's kind of the point. At a MSRP of $199, it's not cheap, but it's reasonable. I've seen knives of this nature $300-400, so it's easy for knives to get up there in price. It's well constructed for what you're paying for it. There is a sheath available. If you buy it with the knife, it's $29. It's $35 if you buy it later. It's kind of a Kydex sheath that goes in it. But with the clip and the ability to slide it into a pocket, and the fact that the blade is completely covered, other than the fact you could, if you probably tried hard enough, squeeze your finger in there and get caught. You really probably don't need the sheath unless you're wanting to put it in a position where you wanted it completely covered. It's different. Purists of karambits are probably not going to like it. If you just buy it and expect it to work like any other karambit, then you're probably not going to like it. But if you practice with a little bit and just look at the cool factor of it, it's just unique. And the few people I've shown this thing to, when I get it out and show them how it works, and of course that was a bit of a clumsy one, let me just do it right. And I didn't do it right again. It does take some practice, it does take some getting used to, and of course I'm sitting here at a table where I'm showing it to you, there you go, where I'm showing it to you in the kind of the wrong position that I would be deploying this. It's got a lot of coolness going for it, and even if you don't put this as your EDC, it's definitely a knife that you would enjoy having in your collection. And it's really just a nice looking, kind of cool, kind of fun knife. Beyond that, if you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, click that bell to be notified, because of course we're going to bring other kind of interesting, cool things like this, knives and guns, to you. Check us out on Facebook, Patreon, Instagram, all over the place, and thank you.